Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into a book that honestly has probably changed how millions think about money. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, it's everywhere, isn't it? You might have heard the concepts, maybe even read it. But our goal today, it's more than just a summary. We want to dig out those core insights, the bits that maybe hit differently now, things that challenge how we usually think about finance and maybe give you some real tools to shift your view on wealth and freedom.
Absolutely, and I think what makes it stick, really, is that narrative structure. It seems simple, contrasting his two dads, his actual father, the poor dad, and his friend's dad, the rich dad. But it's more than just a story. It's like it sets up this powerful framework, almost like a fable, showing these two completely different ways of looking at money, at life. It really is.
Yeah.
A brilliant way to show how, your mindset, maybe stuff you picked up young, can lead to such vastly different places financially. And he does it without tons of complex jargon, right? It's through stories, his own experiences, showing what it actually means to have your money work for you instead of you always grinding away for it. It's a big shift in perspective. So let's dive right into that contrast, the two dads. First, there's his poor dad. This was his real father. Highly educated man, right? Stanford, PhD.
Exactly. Very accomplished academically. Became head of education in Hawaii. Hard worker. Followed that path we're all told about. Good grades, safe job, climb the ladder.
Right. Security meant a steady paycheck, benefits, the pension down the line, that traditional model of success. Diligence, loyalty to your employer, that's the key.
The standard playbook for many people, even today.
Then the complete opposite, the rich dad, his friend's father, didn't even finish high school, which is kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, quite the contrast. But he ended up becoming incredibly wealthy. His whole mindset was different, not about getting a job, but about creating them, building businesses.
He saw money differently too, not just wages for time, but like a tool, something you could use to make more money.
Precisely. He wasn't working for money in the same way. He figured out how to make money work for him, investments, businesses. It was all about ownership, leverage, not just labor.
So why is this contrast so central, do you think? Why does it hit so hard?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is how clearly it shows that your financial destiny isn't just about your degree or how hard you physically work. It's profoundly shaped by your financial philosophy, your core beliefs about money. The poor dad, despite his education and hard work, often felt financially constrained. The rich dad understood systems, how to make money, generate more money.
It forces you to stop and think, doesn't it, about your own beliefs? Are they actually helping you get where you want to go, or are they maybe holding you back without you realizing?
Exactly that. That self-reflection is key.
Which leads perfectly into the book's absolute core lesson, the one everything else kind of hangs on. Don't work for money, make money work for you. Sounds simple, almost like a slogan.
It does, but living it is the challenge.
So how does someone actually start doing that? If you're in a regular job, how do you make that switch from being like an employee of money to making money your employee?
Great question. It's not about just quitting your job tomorrow, usually. It starts with reevaluating things. And Kiyosaki stresses financial education first, understanding the rules of the money game. Because just earning a salary, even a high one, can keep you stuck in what he calls the rat race, right? That cycle of work, pay bills, maybe spend a bit more as you earn more, but never really building wealth.
Yeah, the hamster wheel.
Exactly. So the first step is learning. Dedicate time, even just a little each day, to understand investing, business basics, maybe real estate. It's about shifting your identity from just being a consumer to thinking like an owner.
And that point about school,
Yeah.
it's so true. You get a great academic education, maybe, but practical money skills, often totally missing.
It's a huge gap. We learn algebra, biology, but not how to manage a budget or what an asset really is in practical terms.
Makes you wonder, right?
It absolutely does. And it raises that question for everyone listening. If school doesn't teach this practical stuff, how vital is it that you go out and find that knowledge yourself? Kiyosaki basically says it's indispensable. Without it, you risk staying in that rat race, working harder and harder, but feeling like you're not getting ahead financially. It's about laying the rules. The wealthy often use rules that favor owners, not just earners. It's empowering yourself.
Okay, so financial education is step one. Building on that, Kiyosaki gets into one of his most famous ideas, the difference between assets and liabilities. And his definitions are, well, they're focused purely on cash flow, aren't they?
Yes, very much so. Forget the traditional accounting definitions for a moment.
He simplifies it.
Yeah.
An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, period.
Like dividend stocks, rental income, profits from a business you own, things that generate cash for you. ideally without you having to actively work for it all the time.
Yeah.
Passive income streams.
And a liability. Simple again. Takes money out of your pocket.
Right. Car payments, credit card debt, mortgages on properties that cost you more than they bring in. Even things society tells us are assets, like maybe your primary home, he argues, can be a liability if it's just draining cash month after month.
That's the controversial bit sometimes, the house example.
Mm-hmm.
But his point is about the direction of the money flow, isn't it? Is it coming in or going out?
Exactly. And understanding that difference, really internalizing it, is fundamental to building wealth. It makes you question every purchase. Is this thing I'm buying going to help me grow financially, or is it just going to cost me money over time? Most people, he argues, accumulate liabilities, maybe a fancy car, the bigger house, thinking they're signs of wealth. But if they're just draining resources, they're actually making you poorer, not richer, in terms of cash flow.
So it shifts your focus from just owning stuff to owning things that generate income.
Precisely. From consumption to production, or ownership of productive assets.
Okay, that makes sense. And it links directly to another big contrast he draws, job security versus what you might call investment freedom.
Yeah.
He suggests that relying only on a job, even a secure, well-paying one, keeps you in that mode of trading time for money. There's always a limit to how much time you have.
Right. You can get raises, work harder, but you're still fundamentally limited by the hours in the day and your own energy. It can feel like you're running hard, but maybe not really getting financially independent.
And this challenges that deeply held belief, doesn't it? That a stable job is the ultimate financial goal.
It really does. For generations, that was the advice. Get a good, secure job, and you're set. Kiyosaki flips that. He suggests true freedom, real security, comes from building income streams outside your job through investments. It's not that jobs are bad. They give you income, experience, maybe capital to start investing, but relying on that one source, that's risky, he'd argue. Real freedom comes when your assets generate enough income to cover your life, whether you have that job or not.
It's a different kind of security altogether, not dependent on one employer.
A much more robust kind of security, potentially.
So if investment is key, then how you think about money must be crucial too. Which brings us to the mindset piece, the fourth lesson.
Yeah, the power of a wealthy mindset. He really digs into this. He says there's a basic difference in how people who build wealth and those who struggle financially approach things.
The rich, or those thinking rich, tend to look for opportunities even in problems.
Exactly. They see a challenge and ask, okay, how can I make this work? What's the potential upside here? They're opportunity focused.
Whereas the poor mindset, as he might term it, focuses on the obstacles.
Right. They see the barriers, the reasons why something won't work. The default might be, I can't afford that, or that's too risky.
Instead of asking, okay, how could I afford that? Or what's the actual risk and how could I manage it?
Precisely. It's a shift from reacting to problems to proactively seeking solutions and opportunities. He argues your thoughts really do shape your financial reality, like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So you have to train your brain, almost.
That's the idea. How does your mindset frame challenges? Do you see roadblocks or do you see stepping stones? It's about building not just financial literacy, but also psychological resilience, an entrepreneurial way of thinking, seeing possibilities. It's a skill you can develop.
It's not just about numbers, it's about psychology.
A huge part of it, yes.
Okay, that leads to the last key takeaway we wanted to touch on. Prioritizing learning over earning, especially at the start. What's the thinking there?
Well, it's not about ignoring income, obviously, but it's saying that sometimes the best investment isn't the one that pays the most right now, but the one where you learn the most. Focusing on acquiring skills, financial skills, business skills, investing knowledge, even if the initial job or venture doesn't pay a huge amount. The goal is to learn how to make money multiply, not just how to earn it by the hour.
Because if you just focus on getting a raise, you're still trading time for money.
Right.
But if you spend time learning about, say, real estate syndication or starting an online business,
you're building skills and knowledge that can potentially create income streams independent of your time, assets that work for you.
it's definitely a long game approach. Requires patience.
Absolutely. Deferred gratification. But it highlights the value of continuous learning, adaptability. Kiyosaki would say your greatest asset isn't your paycheck. It's your mind, your ability to learn and apply that knowledge financially. It's an ongoing process, this building of financial intelligence. And that investment in yourself, he believes, pays the biggest dividends in the long run. It's building intellectual capital that turns into financial capital.
So wrapping this up, the big message from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. feels like it's less about just getting rich quick and more about a fundamental shift in mindset and habits.
Definitely. It's about understanding the rules, changing how you think, and making your money work for you. Becoming the master of your money, not its servant.
Remember that core idea. Learn how to make money work for you so you're not just endlessly chasing it.
And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about Kiyosaki's ideas, assets versus liabilities, job security versus investment freedom, what's maybe one small shift you could start thinking about in your own approach? One thing you should learn more about, or one way you could start making your money work just a little bit harder for you?
Powerful question to ponder. Well, that was quite the journey through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked some ideas you can use. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep making those smart moves.